We all have seen the crazy movies like Taken and Trafficked, where an individual gets abducted and thrown into the human trafficking cycle. But we walk away from these movies with no worries because this could never happen to us, right? We reassure ourselves that every time we go out with our friends that we're so cautious and so careful that we would never find ourselves in a situation like that. Many people around the world have this same mentality, and that's where our thought process is wrong. The fact is that human trafficking is on the rise, and we all need to band together and so that we can save ourselves and then save the world from this prevalent issue. In 2017, the International Labor Organization, which is an organization that raises money to cure critically ill children, released a journal that stated that the millions of victims trafficked has more than tripled in a decade. In 2005, 12.3 million victims were trafficked, and this number more than tripled to 40.3 million victims trafficked in 2016. It's obvious that this issue is rising, and we all need to understand how human trafficking works so that we can terminate this issue once and for all. So today I'm going to talk about the paths to human trafficking and how date rape drugs can lead to a cycle of human trafficking. And then I'm going to discuss how we can personally be aware of date rape drugs so that we can save ourselves. And then we're going to talk about how we can globally end this issue with the End It movement. And I'm going to talk about their mission statement, their statistics and how they're working, and how their programs are working, and how we can create our own ripple effects. And then I'm going to finish with how we can take the first step to ending human trafficking with the Red X. Sorry, my computer's lagging today. So first I'm going to talk about the paths to human trafficking with the discussion of date rape drugs. So date rape drugs are any drugs that make kidnapping, rape, or sexual assault easier. They are odorless, colorless, and tasteless, which is what makes it so dangerous to the victim because they don't even know. Three types of date rape drugs. The first one is called ketamine, the second one is called GHB, and the third one is called Rohypnol. And WebMD released an article in 2018 that shows how symptoms affect the individual. So for ketamine, the symptoms can show up in the individual as soon as 5 minutes, and these symptoms can last up to an hour. And in Rohypnol, the symptoms can start as soon as 20 minutes, and they can last up to 12 hours. So now that we know a little bit about date rape drugs, I'm going to talk about how these can lead to human trafficking. So first, the victim gets drugged, and despite common beliefs, men can get drugged too. Many people believe that women are the only people that get human trafficked, but men can too. In fact, in 2019, in an academic journal by Kogler and Erica, they discussed the research they did. They performed a study on a major Midwestern metropolitan city on human trafficking, and they found out that 2% of the individuals that got human trafficked were male. So once the victim is drugged, it is fast and simple for the predator to get them out of the public area. Once they're out of the public area, they can get transferred into the system called human trafficking. And once they're in this system, they lose their identity, and they lose everything they've built up over the years, and they become a piece of property. Other people in the system bid on them, and they pay money to own these individuals. So now that we know a little bit about human trafficking, I'm going to discuss how we can save ourselves by becoming aware of date rape drugs. So first, some students at the University of North Carolina discovered that they could make color-changing nail polish. So when an individual has this nail polish on, they can stick their finger in their drink and take it out. And if the nail polish changes from pink to black, they know that their drink has been drugged. And another product that can save us from date rape drugs is this product called a nightcap. A nightcap is a scrunchie, and it can transition to a cover for your drink, and this ensures that no one can slip a drug into your drink without you knowing. So now that we know how to save ourselves from this, from date rape drugs and human trafficking, I'm going to discuss how we can save the world by joining this movement called the End It movement. The End It movement is a movement that works with Free the Slaves. And Free the Slaves has a mission statement that is liberating victims, educating the vulnerable, and bringing perpetrators to justice. They go to different cities and communities all around the world, and they inform the individuals that live there of human trafficking and how they can save themselves. And they also build freedom for the trafficked. They rescue them from the human trafficking cycle and give them a new life. And the End It movement and the Free the Slaves is in their movements and their procedures are working. And we can tell this through 8 data collection tools that Free the Slaves uses. So, since 2000, Free the Slaves research has shown that 14,000 people have been freed from slavery. 650,000 people in dangerous or vulnerable hotspots around the world for human trafficking have become aware of this issue and how to save themselves if they ever find themselves in a dangerous situation. And finally, over 300 traffickers have been arrested. So now I'm going to talk about the ripple effect and how we can create our own ripple effect. So I know most of you have probably been staying inside for the last month and a half social distancing, and you've maybe even seen this graphic. And it shows that if one person stays home from work, they can save all this lineage behind them from being exposed to the virus just by that one person staying home. Or for example, if that person didn't go to the barbecue, they saved so many different people from being exposed to the virus and even getting the virus. And this graphic can relate to human trafficking and the End It movement as well. So for example, my friend Bryce, who is an ambassador for the End It movement that works with Free the Slaves, introduced me to this concept. And now I'm introducing you all. I am hoping to create my own ripple effect. I'm hoping if I introduce you, you will go introduce another person, and so on and so on. And then maybe we can get the attention from governments. And governments have so much power that they are able to enact policies that can end human trafficking once and for all. So let's do this. Let's inform each other and create our own ripple effects, and let's end this. So now that we know a little bit more about the End It movement, let's take our first step to ending human trafficking with the red X. It is our turn, so let's take our first step forward. The red X is a symbol for the End It movement, and it shows the world that we are aware of sex trafficking and human trafficking, and we are ready to end this issue. It shows that we are aware of all the terrible things that go along with human trafficking, and it shows that we are taking a step to end it. So when we have this red X on our hand, we are able to inform others of human trafficking so that maybe they can go inform others and draw a red X on their hand as well. So in conclusion, I talked about the path to human trafficking and how date rape drugs can lead to the cycle of human trafficking. And then I talked about how we can save ourselves by becoming aware of date rape drugs and products that can keep us safe from these drugs. And then I talked about how we can save the world by joining the End It movement. I discussed their mission, their statistics that show that their movement is working, and then I discussed how we can create our own ripple effects. Sorry, my computer's lagging. And how we can create our own ripple effects and spread the information of the End It movement. So let's take our first step. Let's draw a red X on our hands so that we can symbolize that we are standing up against human trafficking and that we're ready to end it. So grab your red Sharpie and take this first step with me, and let's end it. Thank you. And here's my works cited. Sorry for the lagging. My computer, and with the mess up with the animations, my computer for some reason was just lagging, and it wouldn't have happened if we were in class. Thank you for watching.